Are you providing more value at work than you were 6 months ago? Have you seen your expenses climb while your income remains the same? It may be time to ask for a raise. My name is Monica Van Arsdale, Senior Financial Success Educator for Virginia Credit Union, and today we are discussing how to negotiate a raise.
The following presentation is brought to you by Virginia Credit Union.
We'll start by covering the basics of why you should ask for a raise and when's the right time to ask. And then we'll get you set up with how to prepare and practice and even equip you with a script and checklist to help you find the right words. Let's begin. Why ask for a raise? Consider the power your salary has on your monthly budget. By increasing your income, you could save more money and pay down any existing debt you have much faster. An increased income could stretch further to help you reach your financial goals, which may include buying a house, a car, or taking that dream vacation. Let's run the numbers. The average position earns a 3 to 5% salary increase each year. Let's assume that you currently are making $58,200 and your company awards 3% raises systematically each year. These numbers show you the difference in earnings if you were to get a 3%, 10%, or 15% raise this year. Notice in the chart how that would affect your 5-year earnings. As you can see, the numbers are staggering. If you were to get a 15% raise, that would result in over $37,000 more in just 5 years. That is quite a difference. One that would put you and anyone who depends on your income in a better financial position for the future. Let's also consider the increasing cost of living. It is no surprise that inflation is rocking the boat. Based on the Bureau of Labor Statistics, expense reports per household, consumers on average are spending more than ever. If consumers aren't earning more money, then where is this money coming from? Savings? Credit cards? Without changing our spending habits and keeping all of this in mind, it's time to work to increase our income. But how do we go about it? For starters, timing is essential for these sensitive requests, and there is a lot to consider. A few guidelines to navigate this conversation. First, you never want to initiate a salary renegotiation within 6 months of a new job or role within a company. Second, ask yourself if you have an annual review coming up. That may be the perfect time to address the topic of compensation. And third, consider the company's point of view. Has the company recently reported above average earnings? Did you just finish up a large project that was a home run and earned recognition by your supervisors? Have you taken on new responsibilities that go above and beyond your current job description? If so, good news. That is the perfect leverage you will need for negotiation. Now, let's specifically think through the details of timing and setting up the meeting. You want to consider the time of day and even the day of week for the conversation. Experts suggest midweek and midday is the best time to bring up salary renegotiations. Yes, sources say this, but you are the true expert when it comes to your boss, your team, and your company. Be sure to consider their preference and when they are normally in the best mood or less busy, morning or afternoon, after or before lunch. If you aren't sure, start paying attention to your boss's habits now before setting up the meeting. The key is to pick a time when they will be able to give you their full attention and then go from there. Do you already have a regularly scheduled meeting with your supervisor? Great. Use that. Consider using this time for the conversation and give them a heads up that you'd like to discuss your compensation prior. If you don't have a reoccurring meeting, you'll need to initiate the meeting. Be sure to suggest your available times. If you have access to your supervisor's calendar, consider suggesting times when you see they are also available. You'll see here a suggested email template to get you started. You can also find that in our downloadable resource within this video. All right, you got the meeting set. Now it's game time. Let's really focus on preparing for the conversation. That means Homework. Yes, homework. I know what that sounds like, but we're going to make this as seamless as possible for you. Promise. First, research the average salary for someone in your career path, and also consider your geographical area. Where does your current salary land compared to others? And does that feel right to you? How experienced or senior are you? How do you compare it to others in your field? Is there bargaining power there? Second, consider your company's policy and structure, and if there is a salary range for your position. For example, if your position has a salary range and you are at the top of the range, your supervisor's hands may be tied. What does your employee handbook say? Is there room for your compensation? Is there a merit-based system for raises? Or are there any other policies to consider? Third, consider the cost of living. Inflation has affected all of us. How has it affected you and your monthly bills? How have your budgeted expenses increased? This will help you find your target salary with the negotiation. And if you aren't already budgeting, help you see where your money is going. As a rule though, this information is for you to know and not for you to tell your boss. There are many great salary resources you can find online, but we suggest the Bureau of Labor Statistics at bls.gov. You can not only filter by your job title, but also your job location. Now that you have done a little homework, now it's time for you to build your case. To do this, create a smile file listing out all of your accomplishments within the company. A smile file is sort of like a company resume. Included in this folder or list could be big projects, awards, professional development, achievements, and certifications that you have earned since your last advancement. This is something that you will print and bring with you to the meeting. Think of your smile file as a place to put kudos. Then you need to take a step further by connecting your accomplishments to the value they bring to the company. For example, my contributions to that project helped increase our store sales by X amount, and I was mentioned in a few of our customer surveys for exceptional service. I work hard to improve the image of our company and help it be profitable. By using specific numbers, it speaks volumes in conversations like this. Not only will it give your boss concrete examples, it will show you've done your homework. Then take it a step further. Where do you see yourself 10 years from now within the company? This perspective shows your supervisor that you are an investment in the company's future and an investment that is eager to contribute to the company. Unfortunately, building your case isn't everything. The delivery matters. Having this conversation with your boss takes finesse and needs to be presented as a negotiation, not a request. To achieve this, have a salary range in mind and be flexible on it. On average, people renegotiate their salary for a 10 to 20% increase in wage, up to their company's wage ceiling. Keep that in mind. If this isn't going your way, be prepared to consider alternative benefits to pay, such as flex time, paid time off, vacation days, stock options, and remote working opportunities that may interest you and be of value. Now it's time to practice. Yes, it's very important to practice. Practice makes perfect, especially with these nerve-wracking conversations. Preparation is key. Begin by writing out a 2 to 3 sentence pitch. This doesn't have to be formal. Remember, you want to sound conversational, so start by thanking them for the meeting. Then express your interest in the company. And after that, go straight into laying out your case. You need to listen and take notes. A helpful tip is to repeat what your boss says for clarity before you respond. This time and repetition will help you process your supervisor's response and allow you to keep it cool with whatever they say, both good or bad. Then formulate your thoughts and words for a counter if the situation warrants further discussion. For this, have your smile file handy to present to your supervisor. Show them everything that you've been contributing to the success of the company. If needed, This takeaway will at least give them something to think about after the meeting. Like we said, preparation is key. So I highly suggest doing a few practice runs through with someone who is familiar and successful with the negotiating process. Maybe a friend, family member, or mentor. But avoid asking coworkers to practice with you. This request should be private and between just you and your boss. In the practices, behave just like you would in the real meeting. Be confident, be persistent, and flexible. I'd also regret not including this, so I want you to be prepared to not get an answer in this meeting. In most companies, a salary increase isn't just a yes or no answer. Your boss will probably have to run it up the chain, check with the higher ups, or run it by his or her boss. If this is the case, ask for a timeline of when you could expect the answer and give your supervisor time to think about it before following up. There is not a golden rule for salary negotiation follow-ups, but I would suggest no more than 2 weeks without bringing up the topic. In the meantime, follow up with a thank you email and written correspondence summarizing your meeting. This will keep you at the top of their mind and again, put the ball in their court to act. Now, what if you get a no? Don't panic. Whether your boss knows they can't grant you a request immediately or lets you know after your conversation, that does not make the endeavor a loss. If you hadn't had the conversation, you wouldn't know if you were leaving money on the table. Plus, you've practiced asserting your values, and you will likely be considered at the top of your supervisor's mind when the opportunity arises in the future. If it is a no, discuss other options I mentioned before, and ask when a good time to talk again would be. Because that was a lot of information, we put together a downloadable document for you, full of checklists, reminders, and sample scripts to help guide you through the process. Remember, you got this. And at Virginia Credit Union, we got you. Please don't hesitate to reach out with any questions. Thank you and good luck.